Hi everyone, I'm using this new style res by Badger. It's an acrylic primer. I picked it up at Monster Palooza, and it's a white. I'm going to be base coating this cool little guy real quick, and then from there, once he dries, I'm going to start airbrushing him, base coating him first with a paint mixture. And what I did is I shook it up and I poured a little bit out on these little boxes I got from Badger a number of years ago. Just mix up the paint, and then I'm just going to attach it, just attack it. Just make sure I cover the entire little head here, in kind of an even coat. I like to start with a white. Okay, I take a little bit of this Badger Freak Flex Suntan Flash and some of this golden airbrush colors, Thalio green, blue shade, and I mixed up this cool little flashy green color that I'm going to use for my base. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply it to the good old trusty Iwata HPCS top feed. It's a dual action airbrush. That means if you push down you get air, and then when you pull back you get the paint. So I'm going to go ahead and put the little cap on here. I'll leave the sprue on so I can hold him. I'm just going to go ahead and lay down a quick little greenish flesh tone all over him. You can see it. And see how the white just makes a pop. Okay everybody, I took a little bit of the burn umber watercolor and mixed it in with some of the base coat, and gave me a little bit darker shade of the green. So I'm going to go ahead and load the airbrush real quick. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit some of the shadows. I'm going to work from the shadows out. I love my old crotchety old sculpting stand. I'm just going to kind of touch in the shadows a little bit, right above, right under the shoulders and stuff like that. I'm getting a little bit of condensation in here. Happens sometimes. I need to get me one of them regulators. Ooh. But sometimes when I get a little splatter of paint, I just go ahead and work it into the crevices with just the air, because that's just a situation you have sometimes out here in California if you don't have a little filter on the end. I just mixed some of the base coat with a little bit of the turned ghost white, and I got this kind of cool little highlight greenish white color I'm going to hit some of the highlights with real quick. And you can see how I kind of went in and added some shadows. I got a little bit of condensation, which means I need to invest in a air trap to catch the water, especially here in California and the area I'm living in. We got a lot of humidity, and that gets caught in the line. Okay, in the air line to the airbrush. So when it hits your airbrush, you get a little bit of water in your paint and a little splatters. So what I do is I work it in almost like a wash, which would be a thin down thing of whatever water you want to use, usually a dark color, to bring out the cracks and crevices. So I just kind of went ahead and did that with the airbrush, just spraying it on and letting it run and manipulating it with the airbrush. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some highlights, put them in, load the airbrush, and between each color I clean it out, spray it with some spray it with some water, and since I'm using acrylics, it's working pretty good for me. And put the cap on real quick. A lot of times I don't work without it, but and I like to hit the top of the shoulders, stuff like that. I mixed a little bit of this dioxazine purple and a little bit of the transparent Thalio green blue shade, and I came up with this kind of purplish color. The purple seems to overshadow the green just a little, but that's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of, I'm going to take the little crown off so I can get like a little, if you can get in close here, and I'm going to put a little, you see that? that little kind of pattern work. I mean, not just like this, but okay. So I'm gonna go in here and then I'll hit the shadows with that little bit of veining patterns and stuff. Having a good time here painting this. Look, I punched in some shadows even more with a little bit of that purplish blue. I'm gonna go in and add some red veining. The cameraman's having a good time cracking up at me because he sees my frustration with the water in the line. But okay, let me go ahead and do some of this and just get the little red lines going here, punching it in around the eyes. Putting a little bit of red around the eyes. Everybody likes to have a little red around the eyes. Don't drink too much. Okay, now that I've punched in a little bit of reds and stuff like that, I'm going to go in with my highlight color, and I dipped my brush in and I wiped it off on here to get as much paint off as I could, so I could do what they call dry brushing. And I'm basically going to hit the highlights of it to kind of tie it together a little bit and tone down everything a little. So I'm just going to barely brush it over. You can see I kind of hit it with the dry brush a little bit. Kind of hit some of the high points. This will all be toned down, you know, thanks to the Krylon Crystal Clear or whatever, dulling spray or any of that kind of stuff you want to use. So I'm just going to go ahead and start working with some reds on the eyes. I want them to have a cool little red eye. And since I have blue eyes, I'm going to go ahead and give my version of Mr. Long Dead a blue eye. But I'm going to kind of give it a cataract kind of look because, you know, a clear blue eye on a zombie just wouldn't make no sense. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm pretty happy with the way he's turning out so far. I'm going to go ahead and shoot him with a light version of the original base coat and some yellow to kind of tie it all together. And giving Mr. Long Dead, I went ahead and, you know, you've seen me airbrush the blue. I went ahead and put a dot of blackish gray in. And now I'm giving him a wash of a reddish brown to kind of tone down the colors of the blue. And to give him that kind of more dead, bruised look, and it kind of gives him that muddy kind of thing. I went in with some red and brownish color, touched up his mouth a little bit. I might give it a wash, a darker wash, to bring it out. But this is pretty much him. I'm gonna give him some black or brown hair, and do that same kind of dry brush I did on the alien on his hair to bring it out. And I went ahead and did his teeth in a white with a burr number kind of stain on him. I'm pretty happy. He's, you know, he's dripping drool out of his eyes, pus type stuff. You know, he definitely has not had a fun life out there in the Union Cemetery, you know, being the only living dead kind of guy. I'm just going in here and see what I'm doing. Just this thing, you know, we were born with, and especially me, I'm a blowhard, so, you know, give him kind of that little kind of drool. I'm going to go ahead and finish him up, and here in a few minutes I'll be back with the finished guys. Okay, thanks a lot. Just hit him with some Krylon matte finish. Kind of tones everything down and brings it all together. Here's Mr. Long Dead in all of his glory. Pretty much finished up. I'm digging him. Gave him a little marks on his body and stuff like that. He's pretty much done. Like I said, I might dry brush his hair and everything. But he's cool. I'll give you guys an idea. Any questions, let me know. And we'll see you later.